Have you ever wanted to tell a story in English and show what was happening in the background while the main event was taking place? Stay with me because today you will hear a long and simple story where past continuous brings the moments to life. By the end, you will feel how natural and useful this grammar can be in your own speaking. Hello, friends. My name is Erfan, and I am your teacher friend. I speak slowly and use clear words because I want English to feel easy and friendly for you. In this story, I will use past continuous many times to describe actions in progress, and I will use past simple for the main events. This way, you can hear the difference and feel how the two tenses work together. One morning, I woke up before the sun. The room was quiet and the air was cool. Outside, the sky was turning from dark to soft gray, and the first birds were singing. I stretched my arms and breathed slowly. In the kitchen, water was boiling, and a soft sound was filling the space. I prepared my morning and planned my steps in my head. I put on my shoes and opened the door. The street was still sleeping, but small things were already moving. A man was opening his shop, and a woman was sweeping the ground in front of her door. Two children were talking in soft voices, and a bus was stopping at the corner. The world was waking up, and I was walking slowly, enjoying the rhythm of the day. At a small square, I stopped for a moment. People were passing by, and footsteps were echoing on the ground. A bike rolled down the street, and a bell rang softly. A worker was carrying boxes, and he was smiling at a friend. I watched everything with a calm heart. The world felt alive, and I felt part of it. I continued my walk. A cat was sitting near a wall, and the sun was touching its fur. A dog walked beside its owner, and its tail was moving like a little flag. Two neighbors were talking about their plans, and their voices were floating in the morning air. I took slow breaths and enjoyed the gentle rhythm of life. When I reached a quiet path with trees on each side, the leaves were moving in the wind, and light was dancing on the ground. I walked under the branches, and shadows were changing shape around my feet. A runner passed me with easy steps, and fresh air filled the space. The wind was singing like a soft song, while my mind opened like a window. After some time, I sat on a bench and watched people around me. A young boy was chasing a ball, and his mother was calling his name. Two friends were laughing, and they were holding warm cups in their hands. An older man was feeding birds, and the birds were flying in small circles above his head. A group of children was playing near a corner, and their voices were rising and falling like waves. Past continuous painted every small moment with life while the day moved forward. The sun climbed higher and the day grew stronger. More people were entering the park, and they were bringing new energy. A woman read a small book and turned the pages with care. I walked slowly and kept my steps light. As the morning moved forward, I thought about learners like you. In my mind, you were listening to this story and hearing verbs in progress. You were smiling at the simple language and feeling more confident. In your room, a clock was ticking, and your focus was growing. You were learning with calm and patience, and you were building a kind habit. I went back home for a short rest. In the kitchen, I made a warm drink and wrote a few notes. A soft light touched the table, and the day found its balance. While I wrote, ideas were coming like small birds to a window. Words were forming in clear lines, and sentences were building like stones in a path. I worked with care, and time flowed gently around me. Later, I read a short text and underlined simple lines that felt strong. My eyes moved from word to word, and my mind noticed the shape of language. Outside, people were talking, and a quiet breeze was passing through the space. A calm mood filled the room while I stayed connected to the day. At midday, I went outside again. The sun was high and shadows were getting shorter. People were walking faster and voices were becoming brighter. Cars were moving on the street and tires were whispering on the ground. I walked to an open area and looked at the bright sky. Life continued with full energy while the city moved in slow motion for my eyes. In the afternoon, I cooked a simple meal and hummed a soft tune. Water was boiling and steam was rising from the pot. A pan was warming on the stove and light was shining on the counter. I cut vegetables with slow movements while my thoughts traveled through old memories. The house stayed quiet and my heart stayed steady. While I ate, I thought about motivation. Inside many learners, a small light was growing. They were practicing a little every day and they were building trust in themselves. Some were listening during a walk and some were reading before sleep. Their minds were opening and their words were becoming smoother. I felt proud of their gentle progress. After a short rest, I walked again. The day became softer and the sun moved toward the edge of the sky. People were finishing their work and they were going home in a calm wave. A child held a parent's hand and they were stepping together in a kind rhythm. A musician was playing a simple tune and the sound was filling the street like warm water. I walked with quiet steps while gratitude rose in my chest. In the early evening, I sat near a window and wrote again. The sky changed to gold and long shadows touched the floor. A soft wind came through a small opening and the room felt fresh. I formed sentences with care and chose simple words. The lines grew like a garden and the page became a home for clear language. Night approached and people prepared for rest. Lights were turning on and streets were getting quiet. Families were eating together and voices were becoming softer. I made a warm drink and looked at the day with kind eyes. My mind reviewed the scenes while past continuous sat like a gentle friend beside me. Later at night, I read a few more pages and my eyes moved slowly. The house stayed peaceful and time stretched like a calm river. I thought about you again. Maybe you were sitting with a notebook or maybe you were walking with a soft smile. You were learning with patience and trusting small steps. Your English was getting stronger and your voice was becoming clearer. When the evening ended, I turned off the lights and cleaned the table. A quiet song was playing in my head and my steps were light. I placed a notebook in a safe place and prepared for sleep. Outside, the world was resting and stars were looking down. I breathed slowly and my heart felt calm at the end of a full day. Before sleep, I thought about language as a kind of tool. Every day, people were using words to connect and ideas were moving from mind to mind. In many homes, learners were practicing and teachers were guiding with gentle voices. The world was learning together and hope was growing in small ways. I smiled at this thought and felt grateful for the simple power of regular practice. My dear friends, while you are listening to this story, you are building your English step by step. While you hear past continuous in many lines, you feel the rhythm of actions in progress. While you follow simple words, you trust your own path. Small steps are powerful, and kind practice brings real change over time. If this warm way of learning feels good for you, I am happy. If you want more gentle stories with clear grammar, you can follow the channel. Your like and your comment help this learning space stay active and friendly. Your subscribe makes sure you do not miss new episodes, and your presence gives us energy to continue. I am Erfan, your teacher friend. Today I walked, I thought, and I spoke with you in a calm voice. I used past continuous where it was natural, and I used past simple for the main actions, so the picture of time stayed clear. Keep going with kind steps and trust your process. While you learn, you become the person who can speak with clarity and peace. When you look back, you will see that you are growing all the time, and you will feel proud of your path.